Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. We are looking at some truly unprecedented source material today. An actual ultimatum has just been delivered straight to the Russian president, and it's coming from a decorated regular army veteran. We're going to break down a situation that could, literally, tear the Russian army in two and completely upend the current power structure. We'll look at exactly what's going down, why it's happening, and what it all means on a macro level, all based on the data in our source material.
Meet with me, or the army will turn its weapons against the Kremlin. Wow, that is the explosive catalyst we're starting with. This all stems from a recently released viral video by a Russian serviceman from the Voronezh region. He's basically calling for defense ministry reps and security agencies to come to him so he can deliver a message directly to Vladimir Putin. He demanded a live, televised meeting. And the warning? It was incredibly stark. If the meeting doesn't happen, the army turns its weapons against the Kremlin.
And listen, this wasn't just some quiet grumble in a dark corner of the internet. The source material notes that this video rapidly racked up millions of views across social media. Millions! That number is absolutely key here. It gave these severe allegations a massive audience, both inside and outside the Russian military. So we aren't talking about a suppressed rumor. We are talking about a highly visible, highly publicized threat that completely bypassed the traditional military hierarchy.
Section 1. The Viral Ultimatum, a decorated veteran's warning.
To really get why this is sending shockwaves through the ranks, you gotta look at the messenger. This isn't anonymous online trolling. It carries intense symbolic weight because it comes from a decorated veteran who fought in Ukraine and openly identifies with Russia's military. He's built a significant social media following, and he insists firmly that this threat is absolutely not a bluff. He's even set up a sort of dead man switch, warning that any action taken against him or his family would become an immediate green light for further action from his supporters.
Section 2. Realities of the front line. The root of the anger.
So, what's driving this? Let's look beneath the surface. According to the source material, this angry message reflects some deeply rooted complaints about Russian assault tactics and battlefield mismanagement. The core of this frustration? It's the commander's heavy reliance on extremely costly frontal attacks. Basically, troops are being sent straight into prepared Ukrainian defenses, heavily mined terrain, and highly monitored approaches. And, as you might guess, this leads to just overwhelming casualties.
This creates a massive disconnect that is completely eroding trust between the rank and file and their leadership. On one side, you have the frontline soldiers. They're forced to bear the brunt of these frontal assaults and face extreme daily physical danger. On the other side, you've got rear commanders directing these operations from safe headquarters, completely avoiding the danger of confronting enemy lines. This massive physical and experiential distance between the guys giving the orders and the guys dying to execute them has created a huge rift.
Now, you might be wondering, what happens when a soldier just says, "No, I'm not doing this"? According to the veterans' claims highlighted in the source, soldiers who refuse these suicidal orders, or even those who just refuse to hand over their own money to commanders, are met with extreme coercion. Voluntary discipline is practically gone. Instead, thousands of soldiers are allegedly facing horrific retaliations, being thrown into pits, physically tortured, or just suddenly declared officially missing. Refusing orders reportedly exposes them to accusations of desertion, transfer to penal units, or worst-case execution.
Section 3. A deadly internal divide. Two military realities.
This builds into an even deeper structural crisis. The source material highlights that the Russian army is fracturing into two entirely distinct realities. It's almost like a giant, deadly wedge is being driven through the ranks. On one hand, you have highly trained specialists, like drone operators and electronic warfare personnel. They face generally lower casualty rates because their skills are super valuable and hard to replace. Meanwhile, the conventional infantry is continuously tasked with those highest-risk attacks we just talked about, often with close to zero chance of survival.
The crucial point here is that this unequal distribution of danger has mutated into full-on hatred. Why? Well, according to the reports in our source, these specialist soldiers, specifically the drone operators, are reportedly often ordered to strike and kill their own deserting or surrendering infantry. Let that sink in for a second. This creates an unimaginably toxic environment where regular troops aren't just jealous of the specialist's safety, they actively hate the people who are, quite literally, killing them on orders from above.
Section 4. Echoes of Wagner. History repeating itself?
This pattern of highly public dissent forces us to look at a very recent and very deadly historical parallel. Despite Russia having massive internal security structures designed to crush this exact type of collective dissent, look at the timeline of the Wagner Rebellion. It started with the exact same type of public video accusations we're seeing right now. Weeks prior, dissatisfied fighters released videos calling out military leadership over unnecessary losses and corruption. Day 1, a 50,000-strong mercenary army seizes Rostov and the army headquarters. By day 2, the armed rebellion officially began a rapid march on Moscow itself.
However, there's a massive difference here. Discontent spreading inside the regular Russian military is a fundamentally different and potentially far more devastating challenge than Wagner was. Wagner was a private military company. Its influence was limited to specialized operations. But the regular state army, that is the absolute backbone of the nation's military power. It provides the manpower, the armor, the artillery, the logistics, and the command structure for the entire front. A mutiny here isn't just a localized, specialized force throwing a fit. It's the very foundation of the military structure potentially cracking.
Section 5. The breaking point, macro stakes for the regime.
Finally, we need to analyze what this means for the overarching stability of the Russian military machine. Even if this video doesn't trigger a nationwide uprising today, the tactical implications are huge, because the regular army handles all the nationwide logistics. Localized refusals and disciplinary breakdowns could severely disrupt coordination. I mean, if units stop communicating or if soldiers just refuse to move forward, it creates massive strategic opportunities for Ukraine that opposing forces would definitely seek to exploit. The strain on military cohesion is immense, exposing tensions that the official narratives usually try to keep hidden.
So, what does this all mean? Well, the source analysis poses a really stark reality. If these grievances over casualties, terrible tactics, and brutal internal punishments just keep accumulating, the risk to the regime is profound. History shows us that even a tiny bit of extra pressure might be all it takes to trigger an open escalation. We really have to ask ourselves, as we watch these viral ultimatums unfold from decorated veterans, is this the first step toward an army-wide breaking point? It's a question that could absolutely define the future of this entire conflict. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes on the data and stay curious.